remote work has enabled, I don't care if you're in St. Louis or San Antonio or Charlotte or Philippines or South America or wherever you might be, right? It's all remote work, but there's a huge cost advantage. I mean, we've got people that listen to this that run HVAC companies, old Main Street businesses. Some of even them are starting to move their back office. I know Nick Huber from
100%.
Storage Squad, their whole back end of Bolt is all Filipino. It's interesting, like you guys have both done it, right? So Jesse, you're in St. Louis and you've built this entire Filipino staffing arm in Growth Assistant, which I'd love to hear more about. And then Michael, you've kind of done the same thing from San Antonio, except you've gone south to South America with Hire with Near. How much are people saving by doing it this way?
Typically, you think of the average U.S. employee, even a low cost or entry level of $75,000 a year, right? Because you got to pay them their salary. Maybe there's some bonus, there's some taxes, a FICA, there's healthcare. That's like the lowest. It's really $100K is probably the better number to use. In our case, we charge between $2,500 and $4,000 a month, depending on skill level and a variety of other things. But it's $30,000 to $50,000 a year, all in. There's no additional taxes, there's no healthcare, there's no benefits. 50 to 70% cheaper. But there's also a longevity thing, right? You're not going to lose that person. Like there's a lot more consistency because of the nature of the work, which is a huge benefit. So that's white gloving it. We find you the person. If they get rid of it, we replace them. There's a bunch of service. We handle the insurance, we handle the legal. If you go to do this directly, it's more probably like 15 to 20,000 a year, something like that. And of course, then you have to figure out how to recruit the people. You have to maintain, like there's a whole another set of things, which there's just a different strokes for different folks, I'd say, or there's a different level of comfort with it. But you're talking about a very meaningful 50 to 80% cost savings by going offshore.
My favorite term for this I've ever heard is from Mr. Michael Girdley, who calls it a mullet business. Americans in the front, international in the back. The whole back of house is all international.
The other thing that we don't even talk about, and this is a huge one for growth marketing, is you make your people more productive. If you have 2 growth assistants doing creative and doing campaign management support, guess what? That US person who you're paying $120,000 to your marketing, they get to spend way more time coming with ideas and experiments. They get to coordinate other opportunities. So that there's like a whole revenue side of the equation, which if that person's saddled with a bunch of Facebook ads manager work that's breaking every time they try to upload a spreadsheet, they're frustrated, they don't like their job, they're not spending time on strategic things. So that's a whole nother animal. It's harder to quantify, but that's a very meaningful animal, I would say.